muted. All right. The good news is he didn't hear me choke. The bad news is I was muted. What's going on, everybody? It's Fandom Empire Live. New graphics, new intro. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully we stay monetized and Google doesn't slap us on the wrist. Joining us for this, what is mostly a Q&A episode. I got some Halloween questions I want to ask these guys and some Star Wars stuff we want to talk about ahead of Star Wars Wastelands return next week. But we're just going to take a bunch of your questions. So throw them in the chat and we'll get to them. And then we're going to announce a couple of changes coming at the channel, some new features that you'll be able to access, and all that good shit. But first up, he hosted the first episode of the Fandom Unlimited podcast last night. And I can also announce that Jason Ward from Making Star Wars will be the second guest on that show. But it's Johnny. What's going on, man?
Oh, not a lot, man. I'm just excited. You know, we got a lot of WrestleMania week. I mean, that's exciting to me alone, regardless of the WrestleMania of it all. There's enough other cool stuff to make it an interesting week. I'm excited, man. I mean, last night was fun. You know, Fandom Unlimited is a fun project. I'm excited to keep that going forward. And it's gonna be a cool night. I'm excited. Happy to be here.
Our staff member and chat mod, Matt Whitfield's in the house. The house.
The house.
Also joining us tonight, fresh off of 7 puck touches and 2 hits. It's Kieran. What's going on, man?
I got to take the ice against my daughter's hockey team for the first time ever, which was cool. I'm not a hockey player, so it was interesting. But, you know, I can skate, so it worked out all right. It was fun, and I almost clotheslined a little girl into the floor. It was pretty interesting. I'm glad I didn't hold on to my stick because I would have killed that little girl. But,
sounds like an exhilarating evening.
It was fun. And then I almost didn't make it here because my daughter got invited to another practice while I was at that practice. So it was 4 hours of hockey. But it's all good. It's all good. Everything's been pretty good.
Awesome. Also joining us this evening, the man who will probably freeze a dozen or so times, if not more, tonight, but will enjoy his time while being here. It's Tommy B. What's going on, man?
Yo, brother, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was legit on Zoom 8 to 9 hours Friday, Saturday. Fucking motherfucker, this fucking bitchin' thing froze, didn't it?
Well, we could still hear you. You were audible, but your picture froze for a bit.
I fucking hate StreamYard so much. It was so good for so long. Look, I was on Zoom for like 8 to 9 hours, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, each fucking day. Never had a fucking issue. No fucking issues. Period. Exclamation mark. We'll put a colon in there for good measure. I blame motherfucking StreamYards. Fuck.
I guess he'll just go fuck himself.
Amen.
What do you guys think of the intro? I didn't mind it. I like the use of different actual footage from a lot of the stuff that we cover. It'll be touch and go if it gets demonetized. So.
A little warning that the opening is going to try and give us all a heart attack.
Oh, the explosion. Yeah, no, that was intentional. It starts and there's just no sound, and then...
Thanks. Thanks. It's so nice to know that you intentionally wanted to scare the shit out of me.
I mean, guilty.
You managed to capture the only Batman part I think I don't like about the movie.
Which one's that?
Where they're both firing guns at Batman and he's just walking.
Oh, in the tunnel. The Dark Knight Rises shot.
I mean, it's cool, but it would be cool if like Superman did it because he can't be shot in the face. Whereas Batman can be shot in the face and then die. So he shouldn't do that. It's a bad idea.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I saw my name in the chat there, and I'm like, cool, another guy named Kieran, without even noticing the rest of the name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they got nothing better to do with their time, so
I don't
let
care.
the video play through to the end. That's what they do. They come around as we start to do decent numbers again. So, anywho, if anybody has any questions they want to throw in the chat, anything fandom related, Halloween related, Star Wars related, go ahead and do so. Right off the bat, though, I am just gonna let everybody know that we have activated the YouTube member feature for this channel, and what that means is you can become a Fandom Empire YouTube member. I think it's $3 or $4 a month, which means Google's taking half of it. But our Fandom Unlimited show is strictly members only. It was only the first episode that was for public consumption and chat, if you will. You'll still be able to see the content. You just won't be able to participate in the chat. So, yeah. If you want to support the channel and become a member, I think it's somewhere down there. You can click, join member or whatever, and you'll hear us talking about this for the next several months to come, and we'll build up some audience there, and you'll probably see one Fandom Empire live show a month will also be member chat only. And if we need to use the member chat to keep the chat clean, we have a plan B for those that can't become members. So we got things in store. Anyways, let's dive into it. A lot going on. Someone asked me the other day, if I could only pick one, what Halloween movie would I watch? Halloween 5, which I'm not a big fan of, and I know Kieran's a huge fan of, or Halloween H2O? And the reason why I bring this up is I still don't have an answer. I don't. Neither one of those movies are anywhere close to my favorite Halloween movie. And if I had to watch one, I don't know what one I would pick. What would you guys go with?
Well, I'll go first because everyone knows. I'll preface this by saying H2O is probably a better made movie. I don't think that's really much up for much debate. There's probably some better acting in H2O, but H5 is by far better to me. I'd love it. I think it's much better than H2O. H2O seems boring to me. We did a watch through for H2O, and I was like, God damn, this movie's boring. Like, I don't know. There's something about it that just doesn't do it for me.
I mean, I think for me, I would have to. Okay, sorry about that. Some people apparently forgot what time I'm on. Okay, for me, I think I would probably have to pick H2O. I think for me, it's just I enjoy it more. I can't really quantify specific reasons why. It just, to me, I think it's in part that the Jamie Lee Curtis of it all. I was this Adam Arkin. I think that overall, outside of Pleasance, it's kind of a one-trick movie. He's the only one carrying any acting weight to me, and I think the H2O has, there's some. It's not great, but it's more fleshed out in that it's at least multiple people carrying the load. Early acting, LL Cool J, young Josh Hartnett. It just feels more fleshed out as a story to me. That it fits more for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Way less cookies, though.
Before Tommy gets in here, I'm really torn because it's like my default pick would be H5 just because it's like, hey, Donald Pleasance. But then it's like, oh, hey, I also have to swallow half a movie of Tina. And I honestly don't know. I'm still undecided. Tommy, what one are you picking and why, man?
Easily H2O, just because I don't have much against the movie. It's not perfect. It's got its problems, but I just like that film overall better, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if I was forced to pick right now, I think I would pick H2O just so I don't have to deal with Tina. Like, that's how much I can't stand that character. Let's see what the chat's saying on this particular topic this evening. Maddie says H2O. Solids H2O. Heath says 5. Justin says everything about Halloween 5 sucks. Kenny says my go-to is the Halloween movie from 78. But this question's H2O or 5. I go with H2O. And Mean Dean, the Renner machine is late. And Linton says H2O. And Melissa says her favorites are 78, 4, and Kills. Doesn't necessarily answer the question, but alrighty. Also, in Halloween, I don't know if you can call it news today, I see a few places are coming out saying that we might get a Halloween teaser or footage, rather, at the end of April at CinemaCon. We had that one a couple of weeks ago. I just don't remember if it was on a pre-produced video or Patreon.
I think it was the Lampkin Lane because I don't remember hearing that, and I don't watch the Lampkin Lanes, but I watch the pre-produced stuff.
Oh, well, when I'm doing this, let me give this guy a shout out here. Someone tagged us on Twitter. I wouldn't even have known about it otherwise. Bailey Hart on Twitter replied to something regarding it, saying, again, at Fandom Empire now is correct. So I don't know if Bailey is on our Patreon or not. So I don't know. Don't know. But yeah, it seems like more sources are starting to back the idea that we're getting something towards the end of April. I would keep expectations low, though. I really would. And I would also not guarantee that footage goes public, because CinemaCon has a lot of stuff that does not go public. So you'll get a description of it regardless. Like, that's guaranteed. But yeah, that's sort of where we are at the moment. So next week at, see if I'm doing this right, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I guess this is an important show update to do. Pardon me. Next week, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, that will be the new start time for Fandom Empire Live. 9:30 p.m. Eastern going forward, because at 8:30 on Tuesdays, we will be doing Star Wars Wastelands. So doesn't mean we won't talk about Star Wars on Fandom Empire Live, but the majority of our Star Wars talk will be on Star Wars Wastelands, and there's a bunch of cool shit to get to over there. And Star Wars just feels like it's in a much more optimistic place today than it was prior. I don't know about you guys, what you guys think about any of that, but you guys think it's starting to be a little more positive out there? I mean, you still have the gatekeepers; they're not going anywhere. But
it's hard. It's hard because you can kind of manipulate your what you get from it. Like I recently have gone through another Facebook thing where I'm like, this group, nah, too much fuckheads in that group, too much blah blah blah, like, and then, well, I mean, if you're talking about news, you get the same newsreels from your Google picks, but Facebook groups and stuff like that, I've just kind of like eliminated some of the more negative groups that I'm in for all sorts of fandoms.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of manipulate it that way. But I do think that there's I do think it's at a little bit more of a positive hill right now than the negative valleys that we get sometimes.
I hear you, Kieran. I try to do that too. Curtail your social media a little more. I can't completely get rid of the fuckheads. Because I'm kind of in a group with them right now.
Again, this is all Q&A. Feel free to asshole. This is all Q&A for now, so send in your questions. If you have questions on anything, feel free to hit us up. I know it's a bit of a quiet news week so far, but in a few minutes, we are going to talk about some horror movie or horror video games, because Johnny showed me a trailer to one that's coming out that looks pretty good, and we were talking about some other ones, and so we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But before we do, I want to talk about expectations. This isn't just Star Wars related or Halloween related. This goes for any new movie, TV show, or video game, or even book, any form of media. I think expectations can absolutely ruin your experience on something. Now, you guys know I've spoken pretty positively about Star Wars Theory and the money they've raised for kids' cancer research and all that. So there was this excerpt that came out of a book. I think it's called Shadow of the Sith. And I sent it to a few people. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check it out. But it sounds amazing. Can't fucking wait for it. And it's in the excerpt towards the end of it, basically you find out that there's these like Force wraiths on Exegol that they're basically getting ready to kill Luke. And Force Ghost Anakin shows up and saves him. Current canon too, real thing. And they do some of the Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker stuff where like you can actually have a lightsaber as a Force ghost and can touch like physical items. So the way it's really beautifully written actually kind of reminded me of George R.R. Martin, without any of the family fucking or any of that shit. So anyways, I turn on Star Wars Nerd Theory every Monday night and listen to them before I head to bed. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's hit and miss, kind of like this show. And I heard the guy go from like 0 to 1 billion. So he reads the excerpt, and all of a sudden that means Lucasfilm's going to do like Force Ghost movies set in another Force realm. I know George Lucas openly talked about that, but it's just like, dude, like, appreciate everything you do, but if you're jumping from 0 to 1 billion and missing everything in between, you're going to be disappointed. Like, in my opinion, that fella's already setting himself up to be super pissed off with whatever comes next, because I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be the adventures of Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Luke and Qui-Gon as Force ghosts in a Force realm. Not to say that none of that can't happen, but to jump to that conclusion that that's what we're getting next based off of a book excerpt, just seems like not safe or realistic expectations. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Have you ever gotten Johnny, I feel like I know the answer to you for this one, but the rest of you guys, and Johnny too, have you ever ruined an experience by having your expectations out of check? And if so, what was that experience?
I mean, it works both ways. I've gone into movies where, I thought X-Men 3 was going to be the greatest thing ever. I loved X-Men. I thought X-Men 2 was even better. And when I saw X-Men 3, I took the day off school, went to go see it at the theater with my brothers. And it was just like, well, oh, wait, actually, I think I was out of school, but my brother got out of school. But anyways, and like, it was garbage. I hated it. But like the fact that I had such high expectations for it, I think not only do I think it was a bad movie, like I thought it was the worst thing ever. And I was like, it ruined my life at that point. I hated it. I was definitely a little bit more emotional as a younger kid, but hated that. But then on the other hand, like some movies, like I went through, like I watched Eternals, and I wasn't even planning on watching that, and I thought it was amazing. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies now, but a lot of it I think had to do with the fact that I was like, well, I don't know these superheroes. I don't really want to watch it. I'm not really all that excited about it. And then all of a sudden it was like, I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. In fact, I bought all of the Eternals action figures from it. So I have been opening them while we're on the show sometimes. As for Star Wars Theory, I hate that guy and I think he's lame.
I just think he's setting himself up for like disappointment to jump from 0 to a billion like that. Enjoy the book and see where they go with the book. You know,
He's like low key one of those gatekeeper people. Like he does an okay job of being open and being non-biased a lot of times, but like you can tell that that's kind of an act sometimes, and that he really is like, well, I hate this and this is stupid, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of his. He does put out some really great content. So, I can't knock the guy. And yeah, I've heard that he's done lots of great stuff for charity. All that stuff is definitely true. But I don't like his content because I feel like he is kind of one of those gatekeeper type people. And yeah, he probably is setting himself up for, if they do this, then it's dumb. And if they do this, then it's stupid.
I've never seen him. See, I definitely won't call him a gatekeeper just because I've watched him bring a bunch of smaller YouTube channels onto his, just to promote them and get them more subs and shit like that. So I don't think he's a gatekeeper, but I do think, especially in like the last year, he's become super opinionated. And like, I'm someone that's not necessarily the biggest sequels fan, but I'm not gonna just, turn my nose up at any conversation about them. I'm more willing than ever to have a conversation about the sequels.
He definitely anything that has to do with Luke continuing the direction that he did, he's not going to like it no matter how good or bad it is. He's just going to hate it for the idea that Luke did what he did in Last Jedi, and that's just canon, and he's just nothing he can do about it.
Oh, I mean, that's a bunch of the fan base, sadly. So, but expectations, whether it's Star Wars, Halloween kind of got me with kills because like I had the leaks, then I had the script, and then we had the trailers, and it's like, okay, this is totally lined up to be amazing. And the Michael Myers portions of that movie is amazing. But I always knew pacing was going to be an issue with that movie, but I didn't think it would slap me in the face the way it does at times during it. And that one was a bit of a letdown at times. Anybody else have one?
Well, I mean, for me, I have, example of both. A pretty prime example of, low expectations being extremely exceeded is, Halloween 2018. I went into that, you and I have made no bones about me saying that I went in with such low expectations because I didn't think that, they could produce horror. They were comedy guys. They were funny guys. They were ha-ha guys. They weren't, serious in horror. And then Halloween came and they brought that to the table and damn, they blew me away. And then the flip side of that coin, something I had high expectations going in that just completely let me down, was Logan. I didn't see it in theaters. By the time I got to see it, it was out on Blu-ray and DVD, and I watched it then. And it had been hyped up as, the greatest movie.
You saw it at my house. I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, I did. Watched it with you the first time I saw it. It had been hyped up as just this amazing movie that I'm going to love. And I was a fan of the comics that it was based on. So I had the high expectations going in, and I watched it and just did not enjoy it. I didn't like the pacing. I didn't like the story, the tenor, the tone. It didn't do it for me like it did for other people. I mean, I could probably point to The Dark Knight Rises and say the same thing about that, but that's a hot steaming pile of garbage in my opinion.
I guess my other example before Tommy gives his would be the Fear Street movies. I went in with zero expectation. Some cool posters and some decent artwork, and I honestly think all three of those movies are better than Halloween Kills. So,
are we also doing like good stuff? Because I thought we were focusing on this was shit.
Same side.
I know it's a change of pace for you, Tommy, but you could say something's good.
Yeah, say something positive, bitch.
Talk nicely about StreamYards.
Yes.
Huh.
Oh my god!
You've made the question too hard.
Huh.
Tommy's response to the StreamYards.
I only heard like half of what you said about StreamYards because it went in and out.
Oh my god!
If that isn't the most appropriate thing, I thought we should.
So, just to quickly answer the question, okay? My expectations were blown out of the park, and this is recent, but we're a little bit removed from it now. So, Batman, completely, and everyone here who watches our content has bared witness to it. I wasn't interested. I was not really turned off, but I wasn't gonna go fucking see that movie. And I went and saw it on the Friday, day after it came out technically, but the release Friday, and for an early showing. Fucking love the movie. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Cannot wait to own that thing. Like, I rarely buy physical media anymore. I'm buying the shit out of that thing. But that's one that's kind of like an outlier for me because I had super high expectations. I apologize. I'm sure you can hear Jensen outside the door.
I think it was the first time we've ever actually heard him come through like that.
So, anyway, I had super high expectations for the Batman. So, like, I was in the perfect, like, position to be disappointed and came out fucking loving the movie. So,
especially because you love the Nolan trilogy too, so that kind of gives you like.
I was really set
if there's already a Batman that's up here, how is there going to be a Batman movie that gets up here? And you're like,
yeah, I think about it all the time still. So,
with all the Jesuit for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks till it hits HBO Max.
Can we talk about as well? Like, I mean, quickly. I loved the I didn't love it, but I liked the Joker scene that they released. But I'm happy they left it out of the movie because I feel like the talk coming out of the movie and the memory coming out of the movie would be like, oh man, that Joker's going to be crazy. And I think that they were able to tone that down, and it didn't take away from the movie. And then it was really cool to see it later as its own thing, like almost like a trailer for the next movie already. I think I like the way that happened. I'm glad they left it out of the movie.
We know
they are called cliffhangers.
They cut out like 80 or 90 minutes of that movie, so like there's a lot. And sorry, they cut out more than that. That was what the last cut was before the final cut. So there's a lot of Batman. I actually wish they would have kept it in, but the only reason I feel that way is because I seen an interview with Matt Reeves, and he had stated that scene would have taken place like quite early in the movie, so it wouldn't have been something that happened even in the last 2 hours of the movie. So I don't know if the Joker would have been the talk. I think the talk would have been still the talk of what it is now, and it's just good shit. Cliffhanger was a decent Stallone movie. It was.
So we're gonna be moving on to questions and on a couple more. But let me ask the first one. So tomorrow / kind of promoting it as tonight.
No.
So maybe they're expecting people to stay up. You guys got any interest in Moon Knight?
I'm like lukewarm on it. I was higher, but I didn't really like the last trailer they put out. So I'm going in with low expectations. So hopefully I'll find it decent. But I'm not staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it. I'll see it in a few days.
Oh, no.
I never do that. So
I sometimes watch things early in the morning, but
they could do a Qui-Gon Jinn solo series, and I still wouldn't stay up till 3 in the morning for it.
I wouldn't stay up till 3, but I would wake up at 3. I've done that before. I mean, I already wake up at 4:50, so what's another hour and 50 minutes?
You don't value sleep, though, because you don't get sleep anyways.
Correct. I hope one day that changes, preferably before I'm dead. Ideally.
Yeah, it probably won't. You've met my mother. That woman sleeps like 3 hours every 4 days.
You're like Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't! I seen this terrible fucking him and Seth Rollins skit show up on my fucking Twitter today, and it was just like, oh my God, no! This is so bad. Why?
I mean, I would take that man's physical, everything about him physically at that age. Yeah, I'd like to be in that shape when I'm almost 80.
For sure. By the way, speaking of wrestling, we got some great wrestling trivia for you guys tonight. So, what we're going to be doing is I've prepared 10 slides, and they're images of old WWE/WWF events. And the fellas here are going to have basically 30 seconds an image to determine where the match took place. Not like location in terms of city, but if it was on Raw or
Do I
SmackDown.
have bonus points if I can answer both?
Or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or...
What?
Do I get bonus
What
points
the
if I can
fuck
name
were you
which one?
thinking?
Also, like,
Oh, I know you're not going to win. No offense. You're just in it for... You're Armando for this one. It's
Yeah,
going to
like-
be those two guys.
I'm not.
So help
I'm
me
not
God, if
doing
you pull
wrestling trivia with Johnny and Jer.
if you pull up one of these images of like one of these feuds that have had like 6,000 matches televised and expect us to pick one individual event, I will strangle you.
I was able to get most of them.
I actually have as much of a chance as Tommy B at beating Johnny and Jer.
I think you'd have a shot. I honestly think you'd have a shot. I do.
Did you just say you think I would have a shot?
No, you're fucked.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
saying-
like, what the fuck?
I'm saying I have the same chance as you, even though I like wrestling, because the chance is 0.
No, I really think that you might have a chance just because they might overthink things. And I do think some of the images are just like, if you really look at it and pay attention, you know where they are. I don't want to say any more because then I'm going to give it away, and Johnny and Jared don't need help. So I'm on your side in this. I want you to win. You're like that.
Can you
that
just
one-
type me the answers?
All right, let's go back to the chat. We're still going to talk horror movie video games, but let's take some questions here, and then maybe we'll bring Jared in a little early and see if there's anything other than wrestling that he wants to talk about. But who knows?
He likes football sometimes, but that's about it.
He's a Cowboys fan, though. I mean,
Says the Titans fan.
I will stand by that. My Titans have been closer to a Super Bowl than the Cowboys have.
Cowboys have won Super Bowls.
I'm talking like recent.
No. Okay.
You know how
Titans
you're
have-
a Leafs fan. You know
Like-
that's how that goes. Everyone goes, well, when's the last time you won anything? I actually don't know the last time the Cowboys won. I'm assuming it's Aikman.
1996.
It's not too far. Yeah, it's in his lifetime.
I mean, you guys both have something like really sad to, lie on and be like, he has the catch and you have, I'm a yard short of a Super Bowl.
Half a yard, damn it. Half a
Yeah,
yard.
same.
I still don't think that was the right play to do anyway. But that's
You
just-
shouldn't have even been in that game. Let's be honest. The Music City Miracle was literally a miracle. That probably was a forward pass.
well, guess what? It wasn't.
It wasn't ruled that way, but looking back on it, it was a forward pass.
All right, let's see what we have going on here. Kenny says, question, guys. Assuming the upcoming Smallville animated series takes place where the series left off, do you think it will go where we saw the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover did? Now, I've not researched into this, and I haven't watched Rosenbaum's podcast in a while. But I saw somewhere, like, in the last month or so, that Tom Welling brought up some sort of crossover thing. I don't think it'll be tied into the rest of the CW stuff, though. I think because they're going animated, they'll have an opportunity, if they're allowed, to use characters like the Flash and Batman, much like they did in the comics. So,
I mean, there would be their universes parallels to them, though. Like, we already know Gotham exists in the Smallville universe.
It does sound like things are really picking up, though, on the Smallville animated front. They've is it Goff and Miller? Are they the two that did Smallville for 7 seasons? Show creators. I can't remember.
It was Miller, I think Miller and Goff, yeah. Alfred Goff. And
but they're on
something
board,
Miller.
so it's those two and Rosenbaum and Welling doing it. So
I mean, I think as more to a direct answer to Kenny's question, I think that where we saw them in Crisis on Infinite Earth is still well after where the series would end. I think that if you get that far, the series would end with Clark giving up his powers and making that choice. Because when we saw him in Crisis on Infinite Earths, he had no powers. He was powerless. He'd given them up to raise the family. So I think that would be where the series ends, because human
I
Clark
like-
Kent is
well,
kind of boring,
That's
unless.
Tom Welling wants, though.
Well, yes, I mean that's a distinct possibility, but I mean I think at that point, unless you've kind of moving Tom and Clark into, well, I mean you did introduce Superboy in the latter years. That was Lucas Grabeel, I think.
Yeah, the one with Clark and Lex DNA.
Yeah. So I mean you do have parallels where Clark can kind of give up the powers and still have a super in there. Plus, you still have Supergirl, which I don't want her anywhere near this project because I hate that cunt. But that's a different story.
This show could do though is not do that like expanded stuff. I think the thing, and I mean maybe Kieran and Tommy can touch on this briefly before moving on. But like the thing that I loved about the Batman is it's not tied to, oh, is this person from this movie coming in, or is that person from that movie coming in, or this person from this TV series coming in. The thing that made Smallville so successful in its early years is they really focused on the characters of Smallville and not bringing in a bunch of other characters. You might had a one-off, appearance from Bart Allen early, but for the most part, they were Smallville stories. And the first, basically 3 seasons is like that. So even the first 4 seasons, really. So you get Bart pop up, and I don't think anybody else pops up until season 5. You get Aquaman pop up, and Oliver's not till season 6. So
was Oliver seasons? I thought Oliver was before that.
Season 6, Justin Hartley. So like, keep it like if you're doing something Smallville, keep it Smallville. We don't need Superman 2.0. There's already a Superman show out there, and eventually there'll be more Superman movies. Do Smallville. Keep the show Smallville.
I think that's hard to do though, like without going backwards, because you're gonna try and continue the same canon. You left it with Clark becoming Superman, putting on the suit and becoming, the Boy Scouts, and
well, we leave it 7 years later, remember? So like he's already been Superman for 7 years when the series ends.
Right, but I mean that was a time jump in the last episode, so I mean it hardly counts.
I believe that's where they're picking up from. That's what it sounds like.
No, I'm saying like even like they can go back to before that and fill in those 7 years, or pick up afterwards and continue from that point and still have, jumping off points that we've already established. But either way, you kind of have to have Clark as Superman.
Thoughts, guys? I'm not saying you can't have him as Superman, by the way.
I think that Johnny's kind of right. Is that it sucks because in TV and even in music and things like that, there's always a natural progression where it's like, man, couldn't they have just kept it in Smallville and just kept doing smaller stories around the town? And it's like, can you do that for 8 seasons? It gets boring, probably. Can you do that and then go back to it? Probably not, because the story goes forward. A character ends up getting to where where you thought he was going to be, and either something gets stale or boring, or it moves in a direction you don't like. And that's kind of, I compare it to music. Musicians can either stay, we keep playing this same type of music and it gets boring, or, a pop band starts to do some metal type stuff, or starts to do whatever, or branch off, and then half the people don't like what they end up doing. You're either going to get stale, or you got to go in a new direction. And I don't think that they can go back to small scale Smallville stories. I don't think it.
We left Smallville for a reason.
So I kind of agree with Johnny in that way, where it's like, it sucks that you can't go back to that and recreate that, but you can't. Can't catch lightning in a bottle twice.
I completely disagree with everything you just said.
Well, you would.
But no, like seriously, that's all entertainment is today. Nostalgia, going back. The Star Wars sequels did it. Lord of the Rings is doing it again. Game of Thrones is doing it again. Everybody goes back for more nostalgia. And instead,
the difference is though, we, at least myself and Kieran, are pitching this as a sequel series, not as a reboot, not as a do-over, but as a sequel series. And to be a sequel series, you have to keep the canon going forward. Now, if you want to do the story over again and retell Smallville in a different way, using the same voice actors and stuff, that's perfectly acceptable, and that's certainly a route they could take. But
no, definitely not the route they're taking.
I'm saying it's a route they could take. But if you're going to continue the Smallville story forward, you can't go back to Smallville because you left Smallville, Kansas the first time for a reason. It's too
I don't
small
think-
for Superman.
The new Game of Thrones is not going to be Game of Thrones either. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same.
You know,
They can't go back.
There's
It's a
literally the same sets.
but it's a prequel, so it's taking
That's
place how
Oh,
many
It-
years
it's
ago?
Not, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to have the same type of impact. They're not going to be able to do the same thing.
No, I've said all along.
It's going to come out with fucking 40 dragons. It's going to be overkill. I'm going to I mean, I might like it, but it's
But
not
it's a
going to be
prequel
the
series,
same
though.
story kind of storytelling. They can't recreate that.
I'll say this right now, and I could be wrong, but people that are expecting like this full-blown Superman cartoon series where it all takes place in Metropolis are going to be really fucking.
Oh no, I'm
disappointed
not
if
suggesting
they do.
that. I'm just saying that like
This
you
show will take.
can't go back to the
chunk of it in Smallville.
small 1 week 1 villain thing. Like you can still
Yeah.
have that, but you
We'll
need
probably
the Lex
start
Luthor
there,
of it all.
but-
You need the
I would
you need the
assume-
big overarching storyline that makes those things better,
I
like we
don't-
started getting in the later years.
I don't think Superman's going to fight like, Bugman again or, like any of
No,
those.
I would think Lex would be the big one, right? Because if they're picking up where they claim, he's the president of the United States.
Well, it was really formulaic at the start of the show. It was, like he
Oh,
goes through his
must be
high
the
school life, he learns a lesson, he fights a weirdly powered supervillain that's not really a supervillain. They're just
Meteor freak.
someone who they were the people who got the meteor powers, and like
was
it went
Meteor
that way
Freak of
for a
the
long
Week.
time.
Yeah.
But eventually they had to go off of that. And I don't think they can go back to doing weekly villain who just is confused about whatever. Like the thing that made that show what it was, I don't think they can do that.
I mean, you kind of could to a certain degree. Like, it's not difficult to just have another meteor shower. I mean, we had the second one in the series, so I mean, you could do that again and have new characters, developing powers from, the kryptonite and through those other manners while still maintaining the overarching story.
I think
right?
current Superman should be able to wrap all those episodes up in 2 minutes, though.
I mean, to a certain degree, like
That's my exact point, though. They got to present something different if they want this thing to get picked up.
let's be honest, this is not going to be an hour thing. Every episode's going to be half an hour.
From what
So
I
you can
understand, they're
still-
half-an-hour episodes.
You can still wrap up the villain of the week in half an hour and have it make sense because you're still going to have the Lois Lane story.
And from what I
You're still
understand,
going to have the Lex Luthor story. And you're going to have the A plot, the B plot, and the C plot. But, it's just going to be in a half hour instead of an hour.
and I think they're only aiming if they do get picked up at a 10-episode first season. So, and I could see that being in a bunch of it. To me, the show was built on Lex and Clark's relationship, though. That is the show. That's the show.
Oh, absolutely.
7
I mean-
years. And that's the problem is that relationship, unless
They
there's
lost that,
sort of
yeah.
reverse, it's gone. It only lives on through Clark and anything that Lex can find from his past that he no longer remembers. So
I mean, Clark and Lex have a history, even in the comics, of coming together to fight the common evil. Like we never really got any of the big DC villains in Smallville. They tried to do what Darkseid, and it wasn't as good because they kind of watered it down for TV and tried to make him, a TV drama villain, and it just didn't work as good. Like, if you introduce an apocalypse, you're going to have Lex and Clark have to come together for the greater good because that's what Lex is all about, is survival of Lex Luthor.
I don't think they'll start where it ended.
No.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, the show ended with Darkseid and Apocalypse. So, anyway,
I don't
Tommy
know.
B, what did you think of Top Gun Maverick?
I'm sorry, does anybody even watch that? I saw one screenshot from it, and that was it.
I have zero interest in this. Like,
I haven't seen it. I mean, that's the movie that's going to come out, right?
I learned today that Miles Teller is playing Goose's son. That's the extent of my knowledge of this movie.
Is that a TV show?
No, it's a movie. Top Gun Maverick.
A movie, yeah.
Starring Tom Cruise.
I'll see it, but I don't know if I'll see it in theater. Like, I really enjoy aircraft dogfights. It's always been a big thing for me. I've
Star
always
Wars
really
has been
loved.
lacking those for several years now.
Yeah,
Oh.
for sure. But like even beyond space combat, like I used to really love the game Afterburner when I was a kid. You go in the arcade, and it had the like wheel that goes around you, and it turned when you turn. And actually, it was almost kind of like the beginning of what we have now, which is like you can basically go in an aircraft pod and
Crimson
play Star Wars
Skies is
games
one of
and
my
stuff like
favorite
that.
original Xbox games.
But really have loved airplane or aircraft combat since then. That kind of gets me excited for it. But other than that, like I don't know, I'm not a huge Top Gun person. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's an even better Wonderland roller coaster.
That for one reason, nostalgia. I don't know. I've never really been high.
You said money wrong.
Well, we'll see. Tom's hoping it makes.
I mean, I guess nostalgia bucks. I guess. Yeah.
We're gonna get to a few more of these questions. There's no way we're gonna get to everybody's because I see the chat's been way more active than it was earlier. So if you want to be guaranteed to get your question read, feel free to send in a super chat or become a Fandom Empire channel member. There should be a join option down below. If you're on desktop, on mobile, I think there's issues. I think you got to go to like a specific link on mobile.
Yeah. I don't have it offhand.
Yeah,
But...
I don't know. Anyways, Dean Renner says, I was very unexpectedly surprised back in the day by Sin City. Didn't know anything about Frank Miller and the graphic novels, but loved Sin City. The first time I seen that, I think I was just too young to appreciate it for what it was. I remember going back and seeing it about 5 years ago, and I quite liked it. I mean, there's a lot to like about that. But again, that's definitely not for everybody. It's basically a graphic novel literally coming to life on screen. What are your guys' thoughts on it? You guys see it? Keep it brief too, if you can, guys.
I mean,
Nope.
back in the day, I saw it. I enjoyed it.
Have you seen it, Kieran? No, not one in your thing.
I really liked the first Sin City. The second one wasn't that great. I did like the comic books. I'm a big fan of Frank Miller. The very awesome simplified images, which I thought was great. And it was kind of cool. Like the screen techniques, I think, were the coolest thing about it. And it kind of like helped Mickey Rourke get back, which was cool. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good.
Zach says X-Men Dark Phoenix is still the most disappointing theater experience of my life. I don't hate the film. I've warmed up to it since theaters, but still have issues with it. I didn't see this movie in theaters. I know one of the Star Wars Rebels writers, Simon Kinberg, ended up directing this movie. I believe it was his first time he's ever directed too. But I'd seen a lot of hate for it, so I had like zero expectation. And Jade and I saw it at home a while ago, and I remember, seeing it and after it being like, okay, I get why people might be disappointed. Spoiler alert, that they don't get their Logan appearance in an X-Men movie, but like, I didn't find anything terribly bad about the movie. I found it quite intriguing and decent, so I didn't hate it.
I have a much different answer for most disappointing theater experience. Because there was actually a movie once that we went to the drive-in, say a doubleheader, and left 20 minutes, a half hour into the second movie because it was trash. Open Water. Oh,
Open Water.
It was a shark movie in like 2003. It was just god awful. Oh God.
Well, I've never heard of it, so I guess that explains it.
Consider yourself lucky. I can't even remember I think it was Terminator 3 was the other movie on the bill that night. We went to see Terminator, which I actually enjoyed, and then Open Water and
Linton says Pattinson reminds me of Heath Ledger. He got bashed, and then they both were amazing in those roles. Valid. I agree with that. Did you guys hear It's Me, Billy was nominated for a CSC award? Crazy. Yeah, I did. I saw Dave post about that. That's huge for them. Man, what's the cinematographer's name again? Greg something, who did It's Me, Billy for them. And that's good. I hope he wins, and I hope they win, and I hope they get all the recognition that they deserve. Because, like,
what's CSC?
Canadian Society of Cinematographers. I just Googled it because I wondered the same thing.
It
But,
was. I remember. I remember. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and some of those awesome landscape shots and some of the things they were able to do camera wise was really good. So I totally get it. And
Gregory
I
Bennett
don't know,
was his name.
I thought it was great. So I don't have a bad thing to say about what they did there.
Mark Ryan says, also, do you think Halloween Ends will beat Halloween Kills at the box office? I can't even remember what Halloween Kills finished with. Let's take a look.
Most likely because the world will be
Pandemic.
much more open.
131 million, huh? I will say it will beat it, but not by much. The wind is out of the sails, folks.
It'll probably hit $150.
Yeah. But it ain't touching 2018. Not even close, in my opinion.
No. That was lightning.
Torres, one of our Patreon supporters, says, hey guys, fan here. Heard we might get footage next month for Halloween Ends at an event. That's true. Yeah, I believe so. The event is CinemaCon, but they don't always release that stuff to the public. So at the very least, you'll get a description of what the footage is. But
And maybe some grainy fan shot cell phone footage.
Yeah.
If that's your cup of tea.
Gotta do this. Gotta do this.
Well, you gotta try and hide it, because if they catch you doing it, they'll toss you out. So you gotta be shady.
Slim Shady?
I imagine he'd get a free pass, and they'd probably show it to him in private if he wanted to see it.
Alrighty. Tommy P, any final thoughts before we get you out of here, man? I know we're out of the 1 hour mark here, basically, but anything you want to touch on, dude? We got Star Wars Wastelands next week coming back. It's an exciting time. Exciting time.
Yeah, no, totally exciting time. I didn't say anything about Smallville. I haven't seen all of Smallville. I know what happens. I've enjoyed really enjoy what I like, what I have seen. It's just I was in the middle of watching other stuff when I started a watch through with you, and you said, "Fuck this watch through. I'm just gonna watch it all now." And watched it in a week.
Oh, fuck you. I watched it one episode a day for like...
You watched it in a week.
No, I did not.
He watched one episode a day for like a week and then said, fuck it.
I've actually enjoyed my watch. The last two things I've watched through were Game of Thrones and that. And I haven't watched through anything in a long time now. Nothing this year. And I liked it because like it didn't do it the binging style. It was nice to go back to just... Hey, one episode right before bed. And it's like cool. I like it. Gives you a chance to build up. Binging's cool and all, but I don't have the fucking time for it. So watching one episode of something before bed is fine with me.
You know why? You know why he can do that shit? Because he doesn't fucking sleep. I tried to do watch through. I've tried to do watch throughs before too. Fucking. Every once in a while I got something to do up until bedtime and then I'm tired. He doesn't sleep, so he can watch it before bed every night.
Sleep?
He's fucking got you there. Yeah.
See, he even says I watch it before bed, not I watch it before sleep. Because he goes to bed and watches TV and then gets up for work. There's no sleep involved.
Very little. 3 to 4 hours a night. So, what is it?
If I get at least 8 hours, I'm cranky all day.
It is what it is. All right, Tommy P. We'll get you out of here, man.
Do we want to do it before we leave him?
It? Okay, yeah. Let's talk about it quickly.
Because I saw we got a message sent to the Fandom Empire Facebook page here.
So they have greenlit a it.
Has it been greenlit? I didn't think it was greenlit. Just they were discussing it.
See, I read that it's in more than just discussions.
Well, I mean discussions in the
early development on a It prequel series. Yeah. Welcome to Derry, which I believe would be set in the early 1900s. Oh,
60s. Yeah.
Is it 60s?
From what I see, and this comes from the TV Line article, which was sent.
It would have to be 60s. If it's not 60s, then it would have to be early 40s or late 30s. So,
Well, this is the origins of the curse, so
Every 27 years, right? So
I'm assuming that the curse started in the 60s, is what they're saying, and that's
maybe. What do
how
you
they
think?
get
It. Oh, by the way, a horror series doing TV? No.
I
That's
mean, this
impossible.
one's different because it started out as a TV thing. I mean, the original,
Didn't
it was a
really,
TV, it was a
though.
TV
It was just a
miniseries.
two-part
It did.
movie.
It was a TV miniseries. It was four
It
parts.
was a miniseries. It wasn't a 4-hour movie. I mean, you can view it as a 4-hour movie now, but it was a miniseries.
It was once a week for 4 weeks on cable television.
So, have they ever, like, in any of the iterations of it, like, developed on this before, like this backstory? Is this something they've ever done, or is this going to be all fresh content, like totally new, never explored territory?
I don't believe we've ever heard Pennywise's story pre the first Stephen King novel. I think there's 2.
We get snippets in the movie of like seeing him in the background of a picture in the circus and whatever, but like it's not. I mean, they're gonna have a lot of, I think, free reign to do things. I don't know if they have to go by what Stephen King said. I would assume probably not, the way that things are these days. But
I mean, I imagine he'd be part of it. He's been a relative part of most of his adaptations, especially after the
read
last
the
one.
book
He
though,
wasn't.
and I know the book has a lot more than the movie even does. And,
Well,
and
the
a
book
lot...
is also very Stephen King-esque. If you've read Stephen King novels, you know that his books kind of get a little. What's the right phrase I'm looking for? A 13-year-old me would read Stephen King novels, not porn.
I have heard that there's some crazy, weird stuff in that. Yeah, I mean, anytime you're talking, like when it was
There's an
coming out,
orgy
when the
in the
new one
novel.
was coming out, there was always people on the boards being like, "Well, this fucking happened in the book." I'm like, yeah. So
I'm
And
pretty
you
sure,
know,
I haven't read the It
they
novel,
can
but there's an
vary.
orgy in the novel with the kids, which is really weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's that would not fly today.
No.
Tommy's going to read that book right now.
No. So I mean, yeah, we just know that Stephen King's, books, they can vary pretty well, pretty far from whatever it looks like on screen. I mean, The Shining is a classic example of that, right? So, yeah, it sounds like something to really get excited about. I would definitely look forward to it.
I mean,
What,
I'm
did I
certainly...
fucking freeze again? Is that
No.
what we're laughing at?
I was reading Jared's comment in the
Jared's
green room.
comment in our chat is pretty
That
funny.
chair guy. Yeah. Him.
I mean, it is set according to Variety. Andy Muschietti, who directed the most recent movies, is set to write and executive produce the series. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to learn more of the story because, like I said, we've never really gotten that from Stephen King, and I imagine he would, be a part of this because I think the last time he wasn't a part of a major adaptation of his stuff was The Dark Tower, and that did not end well.
You know what I just realized? Like, I know it's definitely off topic, but we mentioned Moon Knight earlier, and then we didn't really talk about it. I think we jumped to something else.
Yes, I brought up Moon Knight. Moon Knight premieres tonight. So like 3 a.m., right?
Tomorrow.
That's right. We started talking about 3 a.m. and then we didn't talk about the show. I guess.
No, we didn't. We just kind of moved back on.
Well,
to the
they're
next thing.
friggin' promoting it as tonight. Of course they are.
Of course they are.
So, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't generally... I will watch something in the early morning if I wake up. I do wake up early. And I have time. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow morning. I think I'm going to want to sit down and watch this tomorrow evening or maybe even later this week. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't really know much about this character. You have some really tough mental health stuff being explored here. So I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I mean, I'll sit down and watch the first episode tomorrow or Friday, I think, and and then make a decision of whether I'm going to watch it weekly or just wait and then binge the whole series once they're all up.
I'm hoping to watch it tomorrow, and it's actually probably the Marvel show I'm most excited about since. Well, I guess Loki. I was excited for Loki, but I'm pretty excited about it. I when they kind of revamped Moon Knight and did this whole story. Sorry,
I said I'm definitely more excited for this than I was for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I've watched Hawkeye yet. Like I know what happens, but like I almost feel like there's just too much Marvel stuff to try to consume to keep up. At least for me, anyways. I don't have that in my free time.
I'm actually kind of turning the page on that front. I'm going through another Marvel watch through just because I want to watch it on my newer TV. But
it's all so interconnected that it's hard to pick and choose some stuff because now that the TV series are paying off in movies and things are happening, it's a little harder to not watch the movies, or at least keep involved on what happens in them. You can't not know and kind of keep going forward with the canon without getting confused. I think
it's getting a little convoluted.
I definitely
good
don't
luck
think we're
trying
that
to watch
yet.
just the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I just want them to keep doing this thing where they kind of go with different flavors, which I think this will kind of be.
Yeah.
Like I know that not everybody liked WandaVision and not everyone liked Loki, but I loved them because they were so different than just being like, oh, here's this superhero. You may not have heard about him. He's got a bad guy who's kind of the opposite to him. And then, they fight and then it's over. And it's like,
I think what we're seeing here with
and then Loki was like the onion that you kept peeling the layers and finding more and more to the story. That's like
Loki was great. I loved Loki. I still think it's the best thing they've done yet. Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier are my two favorites that they've done so far.
And what we're seeing here with Moon Knight is like they're going to go more mature.
I think, and this is just an odd stance, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is probably my least favorite personally. But that's just more because of some of the choices and how they told the story with some of the characters, and can it pay? Like, if it pays off in a specific way that I could see, then my opinion will definitely take a 180 and change greatly. But it has to pay off sort of a specific way for me to be like, oh no, that was amazing, that's perfect.
The things that turn me off about Marvel is just there's so many people that think it's like the greatest thing ever, and that like all their movies are fucking Academy Award winning level movies, and it drives me up the fucking wall because like Marvel has some amazing movies. Like there's a lot that I don't just like, that I love.
I love superhero movies, and this is another one that's kind of taken that thing like this year. It's like oh man, Spider-Man should have been nominated for Best Picture. No, it shouldn't have. It's not like. I think it's a very simple solution that the Academy just needs to create a superhero category.
I also don't think Spider-Man. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know how many of you guys have seen Dune, but like, if you say which one's more worthy for Best Picture, it's Dune.
I think you're absolutely right.
It's Dune by a mile. Dune is in terms of the technical side of things, which is what they look at. Dune is a masterly crafted film. And Spider-Man No Way Home is a fun comic book movie that a lot of people love, including myself. But the two are just not comparable. They're not. It's comparing apples to oranges.
It is kind of annoying that they might as well have two box offices these days.
Yeah. No,
I think the simple fact that it says that like the Academy does not pay respect to sci-fi is just simply Empire Strikes Back. One of the greatest films of all time, in retrospect, was not nominated.
We could talk about how
Star Wars was.
The friggin' Academy is out of touch, out of the public opinion and whatever for days and days and days and days and days. They've been doing it this week. But I'm not sticking around for that conversation. We could do that another day.
No,
Oh, you don't want to talk about the Academy Awards?
no.
No, I don't, because that's something we could write like hundreds of pages on. For real.
I want to talk about it.
You
don't.
give your thoughts on the outro.
We've done enough about the
Anyway,
Academy
Tommy.
Awards now.
Where can everybody hit you up at, man? What are you doing these days? Who you hating
Oh,
these days?
I'm hating on StreamYards, as we all know.
Fucking StreamYards.
I am hanging out at TommyB1650, Twitter and Instagram. Sometimes. And around our Facebook stuff. Yippee whippy.
I'm going to put you on the spot, man, because I know you have a wealth of knowledge in regards to this. Who
Here we fucking
wins wrestling trivia tonight? Johnny, Jer, or Kieran?
I actually don't know how Jer versus Johnny looks, to be totally honest with you. I'm going with Jer.
Well, I did.
I'm back in Jer.
I'm not sure how I feel about Mrs. Jer now. Anyway. All right.
gotta
Good night, everybody.
Get out of here,
You
man.
gotta be certifiably insane to spend that much time with Jer. So I think she's pretty awesome, but gotta be a little bit crazy.
She had me until the Empire Strikes Back hate, or I just not seeing. Anyway.
I think
She's
that's
a
more
big Jar Jar
acceptable than
fan.
hate. Oh boy.
You know, I watched Phantom Menace recently, and I gotta say, I think the Jar Jar thing is just way overblown. Way overblown. Just me. Just me.
He's fine as a background character, but
Oh, for sure, for sure. He got way too much attention. But even the attention he gets.
what does that say about the movie?
I like the movie. I like the prequels, though. I got a fucking Phantom Menace poster sitting on the other side of this monitor. So
We've already spent too much time talking about Jar Jar. Let's move on to the real topic of conversation.
well, I mean, we're about to talk about WrestleMania. I think Jar Jar might have, a little more
No.
in him than this year's
he's a
WrestleMania.
movie star. He could get booked.
Okay, so the Austin Owens thing. This is the only real wrestling discussion I wanted to touch on tonight because Johnny went 10 years at the end of last episode. So,
If I went 10 years, we'd still be on the air, pal.
So the Owens Austin thing. Is this legitimately just going to be a 2004 episode of Monday Night Raw to end one night of fucking WrestleMania?
It can't. Be.
That's what it feels like.
It can't be. Not to end WrestleMania.
So
Like,
they're gonna have a match then? Is this actually gonna end up being a match?
I mean, they're gonna throw hands, and it's gonna be more than just a little.
Well, then that's 2004 Monday Night Raw.
I'm saying it's gonna be more than just a Steve Austin shows up, hits the
They're
stunner,
evolving
drinks some
for 6
beer,
months. Yay.
moves on. Kevin's gonna get offense. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be a match in everything but the ref. I think. I think you're gonna have some back and forth. Owens is gonna hit some of his spots. He's probably even gonna hit a stunner on Austin. And Austin's gonna, I don't want to say Hulk up because it's Austin, but he's gonna do his version of the Hulk up and, stomp a mud hole in him and walk it dry, throw some of those punches and, hit the stunner and then, drink a brewski. But it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be WrestleMania 21. It's not gonna be, 27. First Dallas when they did the parading legends with the
that was 32.
League of Nations. Yeah, 31, 32, 32. Yeah, 32
Yeah.
with the League of Nations. I mean,
all of what you're saying sounds great, and I'd be up for seeing it. And then I remind myself who actually makes the decisions over there. And if that guy wakes up on the wrong side of the bed Saturday morning and just decides, you know what? Let's have Kevin hit a stunner. Austin no-sells it and then stunners Kevin, and that's the end of it. I would hope they would never do that, but I definitely wouldn't put it past them. My God.
I think that if there's one thing that's locked in as far as booking goes, it's that. I don't think they're going to change the booking on Austin for that because if they do, he's not coming back. He's done. He's walking away. He's moving on to greener pastures, and he's just going to go do his own thing. He doesn't need them. They need him.
He's
So
already
you
walked
can't-
away due to bad booking once before.
Exactly, which in my opinion was the wrong decision. 2002 with Brock?
2002,
Oh, no,
yeah.
I
He
thought-
was
sorry,
going to work.
It was Brock. King of
Yeah,
the
he's gonna work
qualifying
Brock
match
on Raw.
Yeah. In a
That
King
one-
of the Ring qualifying match.
That one's well known, but I'm talking about one recently. He was in an interview recently and said he almost came back one time before And
I mean, the
came
almost
with the
coming
idea
back and then pulling out, that's not, that happens all the time.
Yeah, they tried to do stuff with him and Punk, and like it didn't go anywhere. And I think the major difference in why Austin, he's very protective of his retirement status, and I think the reason that is because
He
you look at
actually
that tag match at Crown Jewel
Oof.
that Shawn Michaels and Triple H
We
against
have
Kane
to.
and Undertaker.
We have to.
If you've never seen it, don't see it.
oh, it's horrible. Oh man.
Don't
it
insult
is-
horrible. That's
it's-
another level.
It's terrible, and like that is Shawn Michaels' comeback match.
I'll tell you what, if you
And-
want to watch a better wrestling match, watch the main event of the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view.
Exactly. And I think Austin looks at that and says, if I do hypothetically go out there and have a bad street fight or match that he would have, that would tarnish his legacy. So people will still think of Austin's retirement match as the match with The Rock at WrestleMania 19. But Austin can kind of play around with the idea of doing a talk show segment with a 10-minute brawl, as without the distinction of being a match. So
but let's
people won't
also,
think of it.
point out that the collective age of these two men is, under 100, whereas the collective age of the four guys in that tag match was like 200.
That's true. And Austin has delivered in every segment, we've seen him in the past 20 years. So I don't think it's going to be, it's within Austin's wheelhouse. And even if you go back and watch Austin work as Stone Cold, he's not a wrestler's wrestler. He's going to go in there. He's going to throw fists. He's going to hit the elbow. He's going to, he's going to do a Steve Austin match, just not under the guise of a match.
Yep.
And it'll be fine. And, he'll hit the stunner at the end and, crowd will go banana.
And night one with Austin drinking a beer and posing.
And Owens is, like, think of it this way. Kevin Owens is in a WrestleMania main event. That's fucking cool.
Oh.
Let's be honest, though, he's not, because this is not a WrestleMania main event. The WrestleMania main event is still
fuck off.
Charlotte versus Ronda
Charlotte
for night
that,
one.
Yeah, that's cold as fucking no.
I
No.
okay.
Fantasio got more heat
Again,
than that.
not
feud.
wrestling diehard fan here. I cannot justifiably call Kevin Owens and Steve Austin a main event when it's not a match. I'm sorry.
For me, I
mean, it's
I-
definitely the main attraction.
to me, I look at WrestleMania as one thing. Like, yes, it's 2 nights, but it's one card. The main event of WrestleMania is Roman and Brock. That's the main event. It's the same as, to me, like,
The biggest main event in WrestleMania history.
Yeah, we're not going that, but like to me, the
WrestleMania is
Wrestle Kingdom,
stupendous.
the Wrestle Kingdom main event is the January 4th main event, not the January 3rd main event. You can't call the
Fifth.
night one main event the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. It's not. The main event of Wrestle Kingdom is the main event of night 2. That's the
But you
match
can't
that makes the
have
money.
The night 2 main event without the first one. So like it
But
builds
the
to
thing is,
second
though,
night. WrestleMania doesn't do that.
But WrestleMania, like Wrestle Kingdom, is built on the fact that you can have multiple main events throughout the night. Like the main event stopped being the big match in like
Have you seen the
Nine-
card this year?
I'm saying I'm saying from a booking perspective, the main event is no longer just the last match. WrestleMania
been
has
that
had
way for
at
a long
least a
time.
double main event since like WrestleMania 7. There are very few instances of WrestleMania after that not being a double main event. I mean, 7, you had the world title match and you had Hogan Sid. 8, you had the excuse me, that was 8, not 7.
Yeah.
Uh,
9 you had
9
you had
didn't have
Yoko
a
in
double-
both
well,
main events.
9 had the double main event too. It had Yoko Brett and it had the Hogan Beefcake Money
It's
Inc.
poor
was billed as a
Yoko.
main event.
Poor
10,
Hogan Yoko, damn it.
no. 10, you had the double main events, Brett Yoko and Lex Yoko. 11, double main event. Diesel, Shawn Michaels, Bam Bam, Lawrence Taylor. 12,
12,
single main event because
yeah.
it was an hour. 13, double main event, world title match, I Quit match. 14, single main event. 15, single main event. 16,
Okay,
single
okay,
main
we
event.
get it. We get
17,
it. Oh,
single main event.
Get the fuck out of here. No way. You are not going all the way to fucking 30 with shit. We get
Well,
it.
I wasn't because I was just pointing out the history of it as being far older than people think.
Kieran, you're not as much of a diehard as these guys are. Just thoughts on the Austin Owens thing. Anything that you hope to get from it?
I'm not excited about it unless it's a match, and it doesn't appear like it's going to be a match. So all I can think of is that one time Austin drove out on a fucking four-wheeler and drove around, and it was just like, this is
Every Monday
not
night Raw in
exciting. I'm not
2004.
excited about this. Like, and he comes in. I've seen him come in the ring and give someone a stunner so many times. I'm not interested in that. I mean, if it's going to be a fight, then and like I believe you guys when you say it's going to be more than just the stunner beer fest thing that he's done. But I'm not excited because I know it could just be like, is it cool? Like, I don't know where to gauge where it gets to something that's cool. Is it going to be a stunner, but then maybe, kind of like a couple of false finish stunners between the two of them, and then, or is it going to be like a little bit of a brawl, or like, when is it going to get good? If they said it was going to be a match, I know that it's going to be a match. I know that it's going to go 15 minutes or, whatever they would have for an older wrestler to come back and do something like that. And I could get excited about it, but like, I can't get excited about a segment. It doesn't matter how grand other people are kind of telling me it might be. I'm not excited for a segment. I mean, excited for a match if it was a match.
Austin matches are more rare post 97 than Austin segments. Like after Austin broke his neck at SummerSlam that year, he stopped wrestling matches so much. There's, maybe 2 or 3, the Rock matches, because Rock carried those. Everything else was just kind of the same, beat him up and move on. There weren't a whole lot of great matches.
The last time Austin was in the ring with an Owen, he broke his neck. So,
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any pile drivers in this segment, except maybe a package pile driver, which has never been a pile driver.
The best roll up of all time.
Maybe some more safely delivered. All right.
Yeah.
I'll say this about the Austin thing too. Like, I'm with Kieran on this. I'm sorry. Like, I have access to the network on my Sportsnet package. But it's like, I don't think I'll tune it. I'm definitely not tuning in for WrestleMania, but like, I would have considered to try to catch like the beginning of that, but with it just being a segment, I'm sorry. Like, even if it is a brawl, yeah, at least it's a little different than what they've done. But Austin's been doing the same thing in his WWE appearances for fucking 15 years. So the idea, they're hits with the fans because that's all people need. See him drink beer and hit a stunner. But for me, like, that shtick got old a long fucking time ago, and I definitely don't need to see it again.
Austin's appearance on the first Raw after the pandemic was fantastic, though, and I don't think they could have really done it with anyone else but him, because he cut his usual promo, and he's like, "Give me a hell yeah," and there's no crowd there, so you cut to these empty seats, and Austin like looks like he doesn't know what to do, and he's like, "If you want to see me drink a beer, give me a hell yeah." Nothing.
That's how you get Steve Austin sober, right there. Put him in an empty arena.
I mean, and then, you had Byron Saxton from commentary be like, "Hell yeah!" And then he runs to the ring and Austin like accidentally kicks him in the dick on the stunner.
Yeah, accidentally. I'll bet.
Well, I mean, he hit him with 2 stunners. One of them had to be an accident.
There's one more wrestling topic I want to get to, but we will do that after trivia. So this is the way trivia is going to work. You guys need pen and paper or a dry erase board. You will have 30 seconds to answer the question. The way you answer is obviously via the paper or the dry erase board. I can give you time to go find something, Kieran, if that's what you need.
Doesn't matter.
Right here, I'm Team Kieran in this match. I'm for the upset. I'm like that time Austin and Angle fought RVD in a triple threat match. I'm like, there's no way RVD is winning this match, but I hope he does.
I probably would have picked the Undertaker match because that one actually.
I hate RVD.
And now Sean is no longer cheering for you.
Yeah, that line, that ship has sailed. He just couldn't stop. But yeah, 30 seconds, and the way it is the rules are anyway. It's simple. Don't shout out the answer. I will post an image on the screen. I have verified all of these, so I know that the answer that I have written down is correct. You just need to name where the event is. So it doesn't like if you see fucking WrestleMania, you don't need to be like WrestleMania X7. If you do, cool. But like just say WrestleMania, you know. Oh, that happened at a WrestleMania.
What?
What are you, Vince McMahon? They got numbers here. Come on.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if you picked anything after 30, we'd have trouble. Like, is it WrestleMania Starburst 2 or
Yeah,
WrestleMania
I don't
Fleur de Lis 3?
I don't.
I've lost track.
Kieran doesn't like any of the trivia shit I do, but that's
32.
okay. He can deal.
I mean, we're on Star 2 and Star 3, I guess, at this point.
with it.
we
Yeah,
should-
it would be.
We should
And-
at one point
next year's Goes Hollywood 2.
broadcast. We should do an after show with me and Johnny's ride home one time, where I just complain about the trivia the whole fucking time.
It's true. He does that after trivia at any night when we were in studio.
Whenever
Just complain the
something
whole
doesn't go this guy's fucking way, that's all he does is yep. I know because I'm the same fucking way. So
That's why I don't invite him to karaoke night.
all right,
That would go my way.
let's start off with this one. Let me
You
get the
can
timer
go your own way.
right. Good song. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, here we go. What's the event? It's Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nice try, pal.
You seen what I was going for there. I won't say it out loud, but yeah. We have 15 seconds. By God, it's Tim White.
Well, you just gave away the answer to the question there, pal.
Not
5,
necessarily.
4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Let's see some answers here. Hang on, let me bring you guys back on screen. What do we got here? Survivor Series says Kieran.
Well, he picked a year. That's specific. He
Survivor
can't get it because he
Series-
got the year wrong.
I
He-
thought we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, but
don't
you
have to
wrote
do
it, so it's specific.
You get the point. You get the point. It's
I
one.
mean,
I wrote
in
96
Kieran's
too. I
defense,
know
they
it
did only
wasn't
wrestle at Survivor
97.
Series once.
I was really, really hoping that someone. Was
You
like,
shouldn't have had the ref in the picture, or you might have got me.
Okay, what got me was the tights. He
right?
only
Yeah,
wore that
he only- I
specific
think-
color of pink one.
Whose are we talking about, Brett's or
Oh,
Austin's?
Brett's.
Because didn't Austin wear the white boots at WrestleMania?
No.
No,
I know that Brett didn't wear the one with the orange trim, and I knew that they had a match at Survivor Series.
Tim White's
Yep.
the obvious giveaway for me because Ken Shamrock was the referee at WrestleMania.
But they also wrestled it In Your House Revenge of Taker. So the tights would be the giveaway here.
I suppose that's true, but it's MSG in the background.
That's
You
what I
can
thought
build
too,
it.
because I was like, okay, this isn't WrestleMania. And I looked at Tim White and I'm like, okay, so not Ken Shamrock, but it felt like Revenge of Taker would have been a little hard.
Oh, during the question, yeah.
It's weird. Like looking back, it's weird for me that Tim White is the referee for this match. You would have expected this would have been an Earl match.
Yeah.
'Cause Earl was Brett's ref until the
Next
screw job.
fucking question.
All right, yeah, one apiece. Here we go. Here's a softball. By God, it's Shotgun Saturday Night.
This match literally only happened once.
Thank God.
Okay, we have to stop. We've had more time than the match went.
Yeah, yeah. 5 seconds. Four.
We've had more time to answer the question than the length of the match. That's not fair.
Answers up. All right. Yep. Everybody's good. 2 apiece. All right. Here's a third one.
If this ends up a super tie, I'm taking the win because I'm writing the venues down.
Here's the third one.
Okay.
I don't remember the venue.
Ten seconds.
So I'll put the date. How about that?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Answers up. Let's see them. Raw after What is
Royal
RR
Rumble.
supposed to be?
Royal Rumble.
Oh, gotcha.
He's right, but wrong.
Yeah, it's actually the In Your House Final Four. Bret Hart ends up eliminating Undertaker to win it.
And Vader had
was
a
an-
nasty
That was on
gig
In Your
job.
House?
Yeah, he did. It was right after that chair shot too.
That was code for Shawn Michaels didn't want to drop him the belt.
I
so-
lost my
Oh, yeah.
smile.
True.
That was when he lost his smile.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
next night Sid won the belt, and that was a great angle too. 'cause they had to
Oh, I
restart
was
the match.
so pissed off.
I know,
Oh,
me too.
my God.
Because
My
Brett
mom
like
got
finally
so
gets
pissed
the
at
belt
me
back, and
because
it's like, nope.
Yeah, 24-hour reign.
Yeah.
It's on the next fucking day.
Hey, I mean, that was the reign that took the record from Hogan. So, I mean, it was good for him.
True.
Or was that the one that tied the record with Hogan, I think?
Yeah, SummerSlam was the.
SummerSlam was when he took that was the fourth time. This was when he was the third time. This is when he tied Hogan.
So the
See,
score.
all this stuff that they're talking about after in between questions, I fucking don't know any of that.
3-3-2. Move on.
They're like, oh yeah, with the white boots. Yeah, white boots. Yeah, with the star. But the star has the silver on it. Oh yeah, but not with the one with the black outline. Oh yeah, I know that. I remember those days. And I'm just like, fuck off.
Pretty sure Austin doesn't have white boots in that Brett Mania match. I've seen that thing
He does
I've
not.
seen that one a lot. So
He does
No,
not.
he
That
had
was
the
earlier.
white boots when they did the Kuwait.
all right.
Or was it? Sorry, Africa.
Johnny referenced one of these, and I had to give you one of them. So
Okay.
one's intentionally a little tricky.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the first one I'm not confident about.
Yeah.
I got this one wrong too. So.
It's not the one I think you'd expect it to be.
Ooh,
5,
ooh,
4,
shit.
3, 2, 1. Time is up. Let's see some answers, people. What do we got here? Sorry, Jarrah SummerSlam 11. Kieran has SummerSlam. Johnny has Night of Champions. The answer is Monday Night Raw. It was the match that he fought Cena, and if he would have won, he would have got Cena.
That's the pile driver match.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. Nobody got it.
The only one I can think of that was Raw was was it Raw 1000?
That was that. Yeah, that they did that one.
Because
Too.
wasn't it Punk
was,
that he cashed in the Money in the Bank and failed against?
No, the
No?
Raw 1000 was the heel turn against The Rock.
Ah.
No, but he fought Cena that night. Big Show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was the white post. I knew it wasn't Money in the Bank. I didn't think it was SummerSlam
the
because
only reason
it didn't have the yellow.
because it didn't have the pink rope.
Well,
That
the
was the
score
movie.
is still
It was
3-2 after 4 questions. Question number 5, halfway point. Here's an easy one.
What?
You can see the logo in the background.
I said this was an easy one. Shotgun Saturday Night logo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answers up. Yep, everybody got it. What a shock.
I was trying to remember if that was one of the years they reused paper or if they reused entrances. That's a negative point for Kieran, right, Sean?
Sure, yeah. All right, we got 5 more to go here. Counting right. Five, 4, 3,
Shit.
2, 1, and time is up. Pens down. Show me your answers.
don't think I'm right.
I know it's not this one, but I don't know where else they wrestled. So
Jer and Kieran are right. Johnny is wrong. It's,
What? Jer's not right. That's not 27.
is it the one where it was the opening match?
It's was it the opening match? I don't know if it was the opening match, but
It was the year they
that's-
did Michael Cole and Lawler, so it was either 27
yeah. You see
or
Cole's
28.
thing there.
Yeah, that was the clue for me.
So this puts
See, for me, I was thrown by the wall, like the
That's the
Concourse.
wall, brother.
no, the concourse. You can see where it
Oh.
says something arena. They didn't run a WrestleMania in an arena. So are we sure
29 was
that that's
Maverick.
that? Because
yes, it is,
Yeah,
and it's not an
yeah.
arena. That's definitely a big stadium. You can tell by the.
no, I'm
TV.
saying like you can literally read blank arena in the top right under Randy's boot.
Go.
Quick look, I was
No,
right.
that's
It's
Aaron's.
WrestleMania
Never
27.
mind.
Get fucked.
That's Aaron's. Yeah, it's Aaron's logo.
So hang on. That was question 6, right? I just need a score update. I know-
4-3-3.
4-3-3. Okay. Wait, Jer missed 2? What's the other one Jer missed? I think it might be 5-4-4.
Okay, same difference. It's a 1-point difference.
Yeah, the only one I got wrong was the Punk Cena one.
Yeah, that's what I
'Cause
thought.
I was
Okay,
wrong.
so
I
it's
thought it was
5-4-4,
SummerSlam 11.
And some of these are about to get a little difficult. At least I think.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I'm sorry, I thought we said difficult.
Well, I like how you covered the logo on this one, though. That's cool.
Yeah, but he's still got the logo, so it's really not.
4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. What do we got here?
Think this is what it was called?
Yep, you all got it. So basically, we got Jer +1 right now. Over you guys.
I need you to fuck one up. I'm pissed at myself as I wrote WrestleMania first and then, like you said, overthought it.
Here we go.
Nice try, pal.
I love Razor's tights here.
Yes.
Could you have picked a match that Jared didn't post a clip from in the group? a
Yeah,
week ago?
I shared a suplex from this match like a week ago.
We also talked about this match on the show a week ago.
Did?
5,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
4,
He
3,
did.
2, 1. Time's up. Let's see the answers
Johnny
here.
said that it was more their match.
Everybody got it. I was hoping I would fucking
No,
trick
Johnny was saying that
They-
was more
Sean
their
wore
match, and the
completely
other one was
different
more they
tights.
worked a Brett match.
All right.
After check out the tights for Brett on question 1 was important. Check out the tights on question 7.
2 questions to go. I'm sure I can pull extras if we go to overtime, but yeah, here we go.
Come on,
Ooh,
really?
Okay.
Really? They only used the gold and black ropes once.
Yeah, but Scott Steiner flew over the top rope and landed on his face.
Yeah, well, that's because he spent too much time at the casino the night before.
That's also true. I mean,
Do we
Hogan
need
got
this
punched
time?
out that weekend.
Kieran, you
5,
got the answer?
4,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. All
I
right.
think so.
WrestleMania. See? Yeah, see? Like, that's one to me you
The
looked at.
Caesar's Palace one, right?
Correct.
All right. Here we go. Final one.
You can see the set in the background.
Ooh. Ooh.
I think that Duke the Dumpster was underrated.
Yeah.
When he said it's time to take out the trash, it was I think it got a pretty good pop. Also, one time they did like a thing where he impersonated a bunch of other wrestlers, and it was fucking hilarious.
All right, time's up. What do we got here?
You can see the set in the background.
In his house.
Wow. I'm sorry, you're all wrong. That was a Shotgun Saturday Night film before. No, I'm kidding. It was in your house.
I was expecting it to be from a free for all, and that would be
yeah, right.
Free for all.
When you said wrong, I was like, oh no, it was the free for all match. Damn it.
So for those of you that are new to the channel or are considering Patreon, we are going to do a different version of this, modeled after something Tim and Sid did a few years ago. We just can't do it live on YouTube for it. So we're going to do it to Patreon where the streams aren't monetized. And sometime in the next month or two, we're going to do a version of Name That Wrestler where I'll probably put together 25 wrestling intro songs, and these guys will get to hear the first 5 seconds of it, and they'll have to guess the wrestling intro. So
5 seconds, okay.
5 seconds.
Come on, is it really that hard? Like 90% of wrestling themes in the first 5 seconds are immediate.
Oh man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is basically going to do it for our show tonight. Before we go, though, even though I'm not his biggest fan, it feels like it wouldn't be appropriate if we didn't touch on Triple H having his in-ring career come to an end. Obviously, we all know why now. I don't think it would be wise to wrestle with a defibrillator in you. Probably wouldn't go too well. So
Then you could start selling like Devon, and it would make sense.
oh my god.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is just the overseller of DX.
You could have a heart attack in the ring like Ron Wright in '88.
1 minute or less each here, guys. Thoughts on Triple H's career? We'll definitely dive into him more on a different show, but just thoughts.
I mean, he's a top heel, and he's wrongly attributed to being a major factor in the Attitude Era. I think he was more significant post Attitude Era. DX is overrated. Fight me. But his heel run from 2000 to probably 2005-ish, let's say. I mean, yeah, he buried a lot of people, and he probably should have put guys over more, like RVD.
Booker T.
Yep. And I mean, the stuff with Goldberg didn't even really matter because Goldberg was gone after a year anyways. He probably should have put over Randy Orton. But that being said, he did put over Batista and he put over John Cena in that run. And that laid the foundation for that new era that came through with those two guys as being the top guys of, the next decade.
Maybe should have put over Punk too. Just saying, Summer.
That is also, yeah, he did.
That was a little bit different, though.
He killed Punk's push in 2011 real fucking quick.
That's a little bit different, though. I don't think they saw eye to eye. So,
Triple H is a little taller.
Like, honestly, if you don't see eye to eye with someone who's bigger than you, the company, and you make it known, like, doesn't really matter what company or where it is, that guy's gonna be like, well, fuck that guy.
Johnny?
Triple H to me is the epitome of no matter how crappy your gimmick is, no matter how bad a gimmick you get saddled with, you can take it and you can become one of the best of all time. I mean, the guy started out as a French aristocrat. His gimmick was that I'm a hoity-toity French Connecticut man. And he morphed it and changed it and adapted it, and always subtly, always a little bit at a time. Never anything too drastic. I mean, just changing the name at first, and then changing the outfit and changing the attitude. All of those things changed. All of those things were adapted to make him one of the biggest stars of all time. I mean, he was the he was the best number 3 they could have had in the Attitude Era, and then in the Ruthless Aggression Era, he got a chance to truly shine as one of the top guys in professional wrestling. So he's proof that anyone can get over.
I'm actually a really big Triple H fan. I have like a Triple H action figure collection, and he's the only wrestler that I actually collect in that way. I think that he did a really good job of putting over wrestlers, but he obviously picked certain wrestlers that he liked. I know it was surprising to people when he kind of put Sheamus over, but he liked Sheamus, and apparently Sheamus was his workout buddy, so he thought he could do it, and he put him over. And I think there are other guys where he's like, this guy doesn't have it. I don't want to put this guy over. And that's kind of an old school thing to do that. It's much better than some top wrestlers who don't put anyone over.
Like RVD?
RVD fucking would never put Jeff Hardy over. That fucking run.
Oh my god.
So annoying.
But you never put Jerry Lynn over, for fuck's sake.
Anyways, yeah, no, I
fucking Rolling Thunder. That's such a dumb move.
That's the one part of his repertoire you're going to take offense to.
No character whatsoever. Piece of shit.
Not the Van Daminator or the Van Terminator. It's the Rolling Thunder that I take offense to.
Yeah, it is, because that makes no sense.
Fuck that split-legged moonsault.
Triple H, and I think kind of fairly, will always have the stigma of marrying the boss's daughter, and that's what goes with it. In any company you get with, there's a guy that works for my employer that's
the only thing that
made him an awesome heel,
I take
though.
that and I'm like,
Oh,
come
for
on.
sure.
By the time they even started dating, he was already a top star.
Yeah, but you don't know that he would have went anywhere near as long as he did in some of those runs, and he wouldn't have had the power to push certain people down the way he did.
The only era of Triple H that I go and say, you married the boss's daughter, so you get that, is like,
By the way,
after
let me
his first-
just say this.
once he
I'm
cut
not-
the hair and became corporate, that's when you married the boss's daughter became the problem.
I'm not insinuating that he doesn't love his family or his wife or anything like that. I just want to make that really perfectly clear right now. But I'm sorry, in any profession, you marry the boss's daughter, you are opening yourself up to criticism. It's that simple. Doesn't matter what the profession is, wrestling,
I think his ring work
or whatever. But he was really good in the ring.
His ring work is really, I think, underrated. Like, I think that, like, he worked a style that was, it wasn't super flashy, but it was very technical in the ring, and it was designed to be able to put people over. And I can't say enough good things about him between, like 99 and 2005. I thought he was the man. And he also, a lot of people remember all of it, just him being a bad guy, but like his comedy stuff with DX was over. When he came back in the 2002 Royal Rumble, he was over as like the top babyface, or one of the top babyfaces at that time. He was fucking way over when he came back. And
I always found his matches, especially like anything that was no disqualification with him, were always entertaining as hell. I'll never take that away from him. And
I mean,
stuff with Mick Foley was fucking amazing.
His whole denim jacket over leather jacket look. Yeah, a 17-year-old me jacked that look for a good year and a half.
17-year-old you?
He's
when I met you, you were still jacking that look.
He's definitely
17-year-old Jared jacked it to that look, probably.
The math checks out.
In a Paul Heyman trench coat, no less.
He's up there amongst the best of all time. So
first heel to get over and stay over in that territory ever.
There you have it. That's Fandom Empire Live for this evening. Don't forget, if you want to join the channel membership, I know most of you listen via mobile, and I got to be honest, I got to look into how to do that mobile. I don't know how to do it. So, but if you're on a PC desktop, I believe you literally just click the join button. So, be on the lookout for that. Patreon.com/Fandom Empire is our Patreon link. We have WrestleMania this Sunday. Be on the lookout for that. Not on the channel, but those of you that love wrestling, some people will never miss WrestleMania, even if the card looks like crap. So.
Yeah, there's about 6 dozen other events this weekend. Check any one of them out.
Watch the
Clusterfuck.
Card of Honor Friday night.
Ring of Honor too. And then Moon
Joey
Knight.
Janela's Spring Break. Watch the Clusterfuck.
Moon Knight debuts tomorrow and or tonight if you're on the West Coast.
Every night if you look up.
So, anyways, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Kieran, where can everybody find you, man? Nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I'm friends with them on MySpace.
MySpace still up and running.
I think it
I
is.
think so, barely, but I know he sold the company and just got the fuck
Probably
out.
one of those ones that's used for like crazy alt-right stuff.
Yeah, right?
Ooh, MySpace has a news section. And
Last updated 2009.
let's see, what do we have here? This is from March 14th, 2022. Fly Anakin carves his own lane on Frank, whatever the fuck that means.
I don't speak that language, whatever it was.
We're
Probably
here
used for sad horror talk groups.
yeah, those people.
Probably over like Grover on MySpace.
Jared, what's going on with you, man?
I am running a Facebook page, Dark Match Drive. I make, probably 20 posts a day. We have a Discord that I also handle for, we do live streams of stuff. We do, actually, I've gotten into putting podcasts on my Google Drive at the moment.
Is it a public Discord?
Yes, it is a public.
Yeah,
Discord,
don't. Just stop right there with your advertising. I'll tell you when we get off.
Oh, okay.
Did you already give the name of it away?
No.
Okay, yeah, don't. Tell them about it and tell them to message you if they want to join. So.
Yes, message me. I just like talking to people, like audio, like, I can use my mic and talk to people on Discord and be like, hey, hi. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Now, beside that, so the Facebook page is half wrestling news and half connected to my Google Drive that I host a bunch of wrestling on. Kieran and Johnny can both attest to the amount that is available on there.
It's more than you could ever watch.
It's bad in a good way.
Now, the question is, do you have MySpace and a GeoCities site?
Ooh. I used to have a GeoCities site for when I was tape trading, like back in 2002.
Yeah.
And I bought a Noah
was an
show
Angel
off
Fire,
a guy,
man.
and he didn't send me it. And I
Angel
still
Fire. Oh, man.
Ooh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Now we're getting there. Good
Walk
times.
down memory lane. I think I need to get high. Oh.
Old internet rules.
Johnny, where can everybody find you at, man?
Oh man, you find me here, there, and everywhere. Pros be streaming Thursday night. Oh, and Friday, new MLB game hits this week.
Good shit. Be on the lookout for a couple of videos pre-produced between now and the next time Fandom Empire Live comes on air. And check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are all Fandom Empire now. Makes it easier. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Have a great fucking week. Good night.